level, we're going to move on to introduce a handful of the MSc taught programs that also incorporate a shorter research project. So we're going to begin by introducing Dr. Natalie Ferry, who's one of our program leads here at the University of Salford for a number of MSc programs. And we're going to find out about how, what the content of these programs are, how you apply, and what the entry requirements are.
Great. Let's welcome Natalie in. Hello, Natalie.
Hi, nice to see you.
Good to see you here too. So tell us a bit about what you do and yeah, what you'd like to talk about today.
Okay, well, thanks, Sarah. That was a good introduction. So I'm the program lead for 3 of the taught masters that we offer here at Salford. So that's MSc Biomedical Science, MSc Biotechnology, and MSc Drug Design and Discovery. And I think, like Sarah said, there is a bit more structure to it. So you have 3 terms in the year. So it's a year-long course. The first 2 terms have taught modules, 4 modules per term. And in your final term, you devote it to a research project aligned to a research active member of staff. And you're in the lab for 3 months with them. So it's a shorter research project, but you're still in the lab. You're still actively working, and a lot of our students actually end up on publications from that and get their first research paper, which is nice. We have, I like to think of this as sort of a degree that prepares you to be professional. So I know we have Joe with us today, and what I don't want to do is take away from what Joe is going to tell you, so Dr. Joe Latimer, because we have a sort of a structure that runs through all degrees, where you come in, you do a module called Postgraduate Scholarship Skills that really helps develop your scientific writing, make sure you can write in different styles, target different audiences. You then progress from that to something we call Research Design and Delivery. And again, I'm going to let Joe really talk about this, which is very much about developing your lab-based skills and your ability to get into the lab and experiment and design experiments. And then that leads to projects. And Joe's our module leader for projects, so I'm going to let him talk around that. So that runs through all 3 programs, and the 3 programs share those modules, so they work together. So we do kind of want the people doing drug design to talk to the biomedical scientists, and the biotechnology to be able to talk to the drug design. So there's a lot of nice interactions there. You also do very subject specific modules. I mean, I don't want to just list them all for you. I think I've provided the links if we could share them. And anyone like Chloe, you can email me and I'll share information with you. But we teach topics like novel therapeutics, so really looking at sort of bio-based therapies. We teach genomics, we teach molecular biology and proteomics if you're a biotech. We teach advanced drug analysis and discovery if you're a DDD. We teach pathologies of human disease, immunology and hematology, inflammation, cardiovascular, infectious disease control if you're biomed. We also make sure that every module gets you into the lab using those new technologies. We really want to develop your ability to sort of work with sort of the newest technologies in your field. We also have a relatively sort of unique module. We call it professional practice, where students actually work for an employer, and you get a live brief set by a real employer in your field. It could be a hospital consultant, it could be a biotech company, and you actually work for them in that module. And so really, I kind of think these are really good for career development. A lot of our students go on to fantastic careers. So a lot of our students end up doing a PhD. That is true. Yeah, because they like it, which why wouldn't they? But we also have a lot of students going into industry at the minute. So we have a recent graduate who's actually been involved with a big biotech company just outside London in developing the COVID vaccine. We have several former students in the John Innes Centre and the Earlham Genomics Research Institute there, which is a world-leading research centre. And we have students who have gone into microbiology type manufacturing, careers. They've gone into the companies like QIAGEN that make kits for molecular biology reagents. They're also working in hospital labs. So there's a wide variety of career options there. And recently we've started seeing graduates end up in careers like project management, with these professional skills that they're picking up from things like our professional practice module.
Sounds fantastic. You're making me want to be a student again, Natalie.
Well, we are very friendly. It's a small group teaching, and we have a lovely ethos.
Absolutely. Is it too late for current level 6 students, be it from this university or outside, or do we have places for September?
We do. So you can apply online. The link's there, and that's just for biotechnology. But actually, I checked. If you Google MSc biotechnology or DDD or biomed at Salford, it's the top hit, and you can just click in. No, you should apply about a month before the course starts, and it'll start at the end of September. So yes, there's time.
Yes.
And I suppose, what does that application process look like? You know, once they've submitted the application, what happens next?
Yeah, so it's an online portal. It's not too onerous. It takes about 20 minutes. If you're currently a Salford student and you're not certain about results yet, although I think most people will be, you don't need to wait for your degree certificate. You can just put your transcript there or what you think you're getting. You need to do a short sort of statement of why you're interested, and it'll be a case of having your sort of formal paper available so you can upload a copy of it. You just go through the online portal, and then you will get an email acknowledgement, and there will be a decision to offer you a place.
What about entry requirements? What would a student need to be able to get onto one of these programs?
Well, actually, you can do a Talkmasters with a 2-2, so that's the minimum requirement. Yeah. And we also, I don't know if we have many people here, but we do actually take professional experience into account. So we do have people who've been working for a while, who come back, and perhaps they were disappointed with their outcome. They got a 3rd, but they've been working in a science-related topic for a few years, and that all comes out in the application statement, and we do consider that as well. So yeah.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference because, and this is where resilience comes in. Sometimes you do have a bit of a dip with your grades, don't you? I mean, I know I certainly had one during my second year of my degree, and then, just getting a bit of work experience can just totally resurrect your interest in study. And again, that was an experience that I had, and you can come back and do really well at PG level. Yeah,
absolutely. I say that all the time. I mean, obviously, we get students who've done fantastically at UG undergrad, but we also get people who've been disappointed.
Yes.
And then they come and they suddenly find a new enthusiasm, like they're able to focus, and this is what they liked all along, and they really flourish and they walk out with that distinction or that merit. Then it's wonderful for them.
Yeah, absolutely. It goes back to what Arijit was saying at the start. Sometimes I think a bit of mind mapping, a bit of reflection about what really matters and why you're doing what you're doing can really help get you on track and make you achieve the best of your potential, really.
Yeah.
You mentioned Dr. Joe Latimer, didn't you, Andy? I don't know if you want to bring in Joe.
Let's do that. Good morning, Joe. Good to see you here.
Hi, Andy. How are you doing? Hi, everyone.
Hello.
We're all right. Everything's going to plan so far, so that's great. And everyone's here, which is wonderful. So tell us a bit about what you do, Joe, and how it fits into what Natalie's been talking about.
Okay, so I'm a lecturer in antimicrobial resistance here, but I'm also a module lead for postgraduate scholarship skills and research project on all 3 of those master's courses that Natalie was just talking about. What we do alongside all of the modules that contain all the content of the science that you want to do in your masters, we also run, as Natalie mentioned before, several modules that will help support both your study but also your career afterwards. Okay, so the first of those is postgraduate scholarship skills, And that's a really good module, because what that's all about, well, I would say that because it's my module, but
Not that you're biased.
it's fantastic. It's
Yeah.
But what that's all about is encouraging you to learn how to analyze and how to critically evaluate science, about how to communicate science to all different audiences, so other scientists, government, the public. In fact, Andy, you help run a couple of those sessions, don't you, which is great. Also, we teach about ethics. So Natalie does a couple of sessions on that. We talk about data analysis. And then we end that module with 2 sessions talking about careers, but not in a kind of, this is how you apply for jobs, this is your CV, etc., because we have some fantastic resources for that at the university. We kind of make it a little bit more about, well, who are you and what do you want? So a little bit more again of kind of what Arijit was talking about earlier. And people always get a really good experience with that. I think it's really valuable to have that. So postgraduate scholarship skills, again, it's a very generic module, but it helps kind of build up from your undergrad level kind of up to a master's level. We then have 2 modules which would run in your second term. And they are research design and delivery and professional practice. So research design and delivery, RDD for short, that is when we help you to develop how to think about research. So you will do some research in a lab in quite a structured way, but then we ask you to design the next few steps of that research. So that allows you to really start thinking about that process, right? So you might have done lab projects before where you're very much kind of in the lab under the supervision of someone else, but this allows you to think about, well, if you had X amount of time and X amount of money, what research would you do and how would you design that research? And that then helps lead you to your research project. So with your research project, we encourage you to, and again, this links with what Ian and Chloe were saying, is to get in touch with all of us. Okay, so think about what your passion is, think about what you really would like to do, what kind of research you would like to do, and then contact the members of staff here at Salford who also share that passion, and then we would then hope that you would get a research project with one of us doing something that you really enjoy and that you really value. So that can be anything, anything from microbiology in my case. As you can see, I'm a big fan of bacteria, to biotechnology, to nanotechnology, to heart disease and all sorts of things. We've got expertise in all of these things. So you end up doing a 3-month research project. Which is amazing, right? Because you get to do all these things in the lab, and you get to use the skills that you've developed in postgraduate scholarship skills, and then in research design and delivery, and actually apply those in your research project. I also mentioned professional practice, and that's a really good module, because what that allows you to do is, as Natalie mentioned before, do a project for an actual company, right? So for an actual organization. So we have projects with pharmaceutical companies, nutraceutical companies, loads with the NHS. I can't even think. There are lots. I'm sure Natalie can give lots more examples.
Biotech companies as well, as you say. I mean, there's a couple of those. A couple of pharmaceutical companies. There's a nutraceutical company. We also work this year with Andy, actually, in terms of developing ideas around science festivals. So there's a lot going on there.
Yeah. So in that module, you work in a group to fulfill a brief for that real life client. So, for example, they might ask you, well, we're thinking of developing a new product. could you write a report on whether that's feasible based on the research data out there? And these are actually helping out these companies. So between the professional practice where you're working on an actual brief for an actual company, and the research project where you're doing actual research with an actual academic in one of our labs, what that allows you to do is kind of get to the point at the end where you're set up for a career. And then kind of come back to the stuff we were talking about right at the beginning in PSS about what you're going to do now in order to kind of help you then go forward from there.
And year on year, student feedback is that the project is the best part of their degree, and they really appreciate the pathway that we've built in to prepare them for it. Year on year, same feedback.
That's fantastic to hear. And it is such a wide range of experiences within those programs. So thank you both for being here. It's been great to hear about the opportunities, the projects, but also the lifestyle as well. I think often it's hard to really see what postgraduate research and teaching can feel like to be there. And it is incredibly diverse. I know Joe and also Natalie, you've been involved with science festivals, taking work out into the public domain. I remember sort of very rainy days at the Blue Dot Festival, Joe, where it's been trying to share science in virtual reality in the pouring rain, which is a lot of fun. But
yeah, music festivals are always good. Yeah.
And that's where a lot of good conversations and collaborations begin, of course. And it's that
Absolutely.
connection with industry, connection with the cultural sector that brings some of that vibrancy and inclusivity as well into the mix as well. So thank you both for being here, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Pleasure. You too.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
So we now are going to move into another master's degree, aren't we, Sarah?
Yes, that's right. So we've got coming up next Professor Mo Sari, who is a computing expert here at the University of Salford.
Let's welcome him in. Good to see you, Mo. Welcome into the stream.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Sarah, and thank you, Andy, for inviting me to this. I'm a bit nervous, but I do my best.
Oh, you'll be absolutely fine. Well, there's nothing to be nervous about because you have an incredibly successful master's degree that you're going to tell us about. So please,
sure.
The floor's over to you.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, yes. So I'm the program leader for MSc Data Science at University of Salford, which I started with 2016 with £50,000 I got from HEFKI. The government doesn't give you money unless they need something, so they did a shortage of data scientists very desperately. So I started the program in 2016 with 21 students, and just the number has grown very rapidly. And today I have nearly 200 students on the course. So it's has been a very popular and course. Now in fact, the first student I got on MSc 4 years ago, went to Nurishini's lecture and asked the student if they want to come and do data science. So I owe my success and the course success to you guys and your group in the beginning. So the program is a conversion course. So I take a student from different backgrounds, including biomedicine, biomedical engineering, even social science. And we try not to move them from what they have learned, that train them to become a data scientist in their own area if they want. And that has really been working very well. So because we take a student from different backgrounds, we have it used to be 2 weeks, but I had some problem with home office, so we changed it to 1 week, compulsory pre-semester course, which on that week we have 5 days of 9 to 5 kind of teaching, delivering. 1 day is going to teach everybody Python, 1 day is going to be R, which include lecture and the workshop in the afternoon. We do 1 day of databases, 1 day of statistics, and 1 day of SAS, which I tell you about SAS. So we bring everybody to the same level, and we offer them 4 modules in a data science course, so I think that which each module, we are making sure that the students are actually doing the project part of the module in their own area if they're interested. So that's actually has been very helpful as well. So I do this course with a partnership with a company called SAS, which is a leading American company in data analytics. So every student after they finish their MSc, they also get a SAS certificate, joint certificate, which is very useful for their CV and their employment. Now, the main feature of this course, I think, has been really amazing. And we were the only university program for a few years to actually offer that every student on MSc Data Science course is being offered a live project rather than academic project. So I have, up to date, we have delivered 350 projects for different companies. So we asked the company to give us a project brief. We look into the brief, and then we do some little bit of work, make it a proper project, and then we advertise it to a student. The student will choose 3 of them. We always try to give them the first one, but sometimes there's a problem. So the company that we deal is about maybe 50, 60 companies so far. Some of them are like capital, they actually pay a student. Some company wanted the student to physically be there. They don't want, they were very sensitive. We sign NDA with them. I make sure that the student doesn't disclose any information. We put embargo on pieces and all kind of things. But the live project has been really very successful for us, because a lot of my students actually ended up working for the same company, and that was just the idea. Fortunately, I don't know, things are going crazy. A student who doing data science, I don't even know one that does not have a full-time job. So all get jobs. It's just like, and some of them, I had Indian student girl from India. Last year, we had 4 job offers. So we just, and now ended up coming and working for a KTP project with me and Sunil. 2 weeks ago, she told us that she got a job from We Buy Any Car as a senior data scientist. So we need to look for another person. So we do have a really amazing, and I thought that with pandemic, things going to go bad. But in last January, I got 118 students who joined the course, which is 300 more than last year. So even with pandemic, this is like data science is doing very well. Now, something that I say that might be very kind of interesting for your student is that I do a lot of I do a lot of projects from NHS and places like Macmillan Cancer, and then also charity tumor charity, is that the one? Yeah, and then so we do have and a lot of local authority puts project from Salford City Council, Manchester City Council. So we're not only getting project from bank and organization company, we also do other things as well. A lot of my students ended up getting employed by NHS. I have a big list. And just give you one example, Gemma McKay, which she came to program with the undergraduate in English. And then about months ago, she was actually headhunted. She was approached with from NHS, and she was offered a position called Principal Insight Analyst with the Arden and Gem, which is a part of NHS. So that's really, for me, is the best thing that could happen. A student come from English language background and then do the data science and get a high position in NHS. So there is a lot of kind of opportunity for the people who come from biomedicine background. Again, this is something that my own personal research is in. I have been doing medical data mining for all my life. This is most of my publications in medical journal. So it's something that I'm personally have a passion about it in a biomedical sciences stuff. And so yeah, so this is something that is available to anybody who wants to do MSc data science.
Sounds fantastic, Mo. I have to ask, is it too late to get a place for September?
Okay, so that's something that I told you yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, this is sad, but I've been told yesterday that we need to put a cap on the number, because and then I think that in the school level they try to do that. I mean, actually Nigel is the one who's wanted to put this cap, and I think talk to Dennis, but I'm not sure if the guys on the top are going to agree with that, because what I was told from the beginning, that data science is going to be a program they want to really wanted to grow, and they said they're going to give me support. We just hired 2 new lecturers, but that's not enough. I need more, because at the moment I'm just like really working 24 hours, don't have a life, really, don't have a life, because dealing with 190 students. I'm a personal tutor. I teach half of the course. I do the live project, so it's a lot of work. I don't mind. This is the highlight of my life, so I don't mind to do it. It's just a struggle that other people create.
Well, hopefully, so what we'll do then is we'll encourage people to make inquiries via the website, and if there are places, hopefully they can secure one for September. If not, for September 2022, our current level 5 students can be really thinking very seriously about whether or not a program in a postgraduate certificate, and almost very, very high employability levels by the sounds of it, and whether data science is for them. It sounds absolutely fascinating, and I think
I could tell a student, I mean, by all means, please apply. Yes. I'm going to do my best to see if I could remove that restriction. But at the same time, as I said to everybody, I cannot put my hand on the holy book and said, I'm going to guarantee you a job because the university doesn't allow me. Yeah. But the numbers said that everybody who has done MSc data science, I got 10 PhD students, 6 of them are the one who did the data science. So there's a lot of possibility to do a postgraduate study in this. Lots of work we do with the autonomous car. I have project autonomous, all kind of area, mental health, data science, interdisciplinary. Andy can tell you that, right? But we do things with the AI project, Foundry, all kind of things. There's a lot of potential for anybody who does data science in any area. So please do ask them to apply, and hopefully we get them into the program.
Well, any sort of modelling of a disease system, the big omics data, that's all data science. And if you're not familiar with looking at omics data, we're talking about looking at thousands of transcripts of protein values. So really, to have that training in big data is huge, in fact, because there are huge repositories of data, and it needs those talented data scientists to come in really and churn through it. So it is a huge thing. I can confirm that from
and the students should not actually worry about their background. As I said, we give them a lot of support. Myself, I have a gang of hundreds of people who help him. So I know the PhD student, we support the student. We get them into the level they could do data science. So there is no problem. We just think that, listen, we teach you Python, you're now marketable. So it's not a problem. They should think about it and apply if they want.
Yeah. And I think that's a really important message. Also, just generally for students, like learning is a process. You get to the end of a degree, you've got qualifications in a certain area, you can evolve into new areas, new specialisms. And it's often where innovation takes place, where people bring different specialisms together to innovate and do something different. So I think certainly data science is something that informs so much of what we do across all sectors. And it's wonderful to conclude this morning on a MSc that's doing so incredibly well and making such valuable contributions. So thank you so much for being here, Mo, and it's wonderful to see the continued success. And of course, the standard academic life at University of Salford is to work 24 hours a day. So that's just how we roll at the university. It's what we do. But thank you so much again for being here, Mo, and we look forward to seeing the course develop.
Okay, thank you. Is there any question? Please just email me and let me know. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. No problem. All right, we've made it to the end of the first part, Sarah. We're doing quite well. I think we're pretty much on time.
We really are. It's been such an informative morning, and I think it all just linked up so beautifully with Arigit at the start, with mind mapping, and then it kind of came back to, as you said a moment ago, Andy, about, you might have done a degree in English, you might have done, in arts and media, whatever you've done, but actually, you might then think about why you're doing what you're doing and what really you're passionate about, and then you can jump into something like big data, or MSc and data handling, and really take your career in quite a different direction. It's fascinating.
Definitely. And Paula, what have you got out of the morning? What's been a highlight for you?
Well, great, actually. Yeah, I've just really enjoyed to listen to all the different academics and members of staff, people that I've not met before, actually. So hearing about their specialisms, and I think what's really come through is how passionate they are about their subjects, actually. and the knowledge that they can bring. But there's so many different options there already that have been highlighted for students, and actually to me it almost feels very inclusive. You know, there's lots of things that you can do, and it's not just saying these are for these types of students, it's for absolutely anybody. And so obviously get in touch if people have got ideas or anything that they want to speak to the lecturers and academics about.
Yeah, definitely. And I sort of thinking back to my undergraduate career, it was only probably around second year that I started to sort of think about my lecturers as humans that I then sort of talked to and got to know. And actually getting to know the staff is really important because it opens up a whole range of things that you didn't know we did. And I think that was a really useful way to understand what a research career involves or what postgraduate teaching can involve as well for you. So I think getting that broader sense of individuals and what they do outside of the classroom often is really important, not least of which is those connections with industry that bring partnerships, that bring projects, and of course, career opportunities, which are so central to what we do. So we're wrapped for the morning. We're now going to take an hour break, I think. And then we'll be back at 12:30. And I've got a special guest lined up as well to join us at 12:30, which neither of you know about, which is going to be really exciting. So hopefully that will work out. And so we'll take a 1 hour break and we'll just conclude the morning. I'll put up a couple of videos because there's a few bits of details around the MPhil that we'd like to share, but also to give you a bit of a sense of some of those collaborations. We're also going to share the campaign for a really exciting project taking place at the moment around the COP26 event in Glasgow this year, the big climate summit that's taking place. And lots of staff within the school are engaged with that agenda. And we want to share and involve you in that process. So we're going to wrap for now, Sarah, I think, and we're going to come back at 12:30. But we'll keep the feed live during this time.
I'm really curious now.
Yeah. So we'll see you all soon. See you at 12:30.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
In November 2021, the UK will host the 26th UN Climate Change Conference of the Parties in Glasgow, also known as COP26. The COP26 summit will bring together international government negotiators, decision makers, and policy makers to discuss how they should accelerate action towards stopping climate change. From small island states to countries with rapidly growing urban areas, representatives from 197 countries are expected to join the summit. We, the young people living across the planet, have the opportunity to tell these decision makers why stopping climate change is important to us, the future generations, and everyone's voice matters.
So we're making a film, all of us. Please tell us what matters most and we'll bring your perspective into the frame. Tell us what is important to you and how leaders can change so that they can lead the change we want to see in our world. If you're 18 to 30 years old, submit your video on Twitter, Instagram, or Weibo of up to 2 minutes in high definition using the hashtag #ActNowFilm.
Your video submission should include the following points: your first name and country, why is climate change important to you, what do you think is the most important change that needs to be addressed in climate change, are you a part of any group or organization? If so, where is it and what does it do? What pledge will you take to address climate change? And what would you most like to say to the global decision makers at COP? For more details, please follow on Instagram, Twitter, or Weibo, where you will find everything you need.
Here's your chance to show the negotiators what action you are already taking and what action you'd like them to take.